Hello and welcome to Online Marketing 101, Step 6, and the Buyer's Intention. So welcome back to Step 6 on the continuation of creating your client conversation. When creating your client conversation, what to say, when to say it, and how you deliver it to your buyers can be a critical part of the strategy to personalize your message. When creating your client conversation, it's important to not only personalize the conversation based on your unique solutions to the client's core needs, but also what their intentions are while they're traveling down the path to become your client. Customizing your conversation based on their intentions allows you to harmonize with their changing intentions at different stages during the buying process. We've broken down the client's purchase path into 3 distinct stages. Although there's a good argument that there may be many more, and it's not always a linear path from the initial interest to becoming your client. When imagining a relationship, you wouldn't expect the outcome of a first date to result in a marriage proposal, but yet that's the expectation many salespeople have with their buyers. When nurturing a relationship, first, people need to feel more comfortable getting to know one another. Then, as trust builds up, they get more committed to a serious relationship. And only after a mutual bond is formed and trust is established does a relationship move forward. This should be the same in a client relationship, as the content of conversation should reflect the stage of interest and the intent of the client. It becomes your job to show up early in their journey with valuable content that convinces the prospect that they're better off with your guidance than they would be otherwise. To do this, you must come to them with relevant content from where they are in the client journey, not where you want them to be. And generally, the client's purchase path travels through 3 basic stages. Stage 1. The intent to learn. This intent to learn corresponds with the first initial stage of the buying path. Clients with intent to learn haven't fully realized the extent of their problem, or might not even be completely aware they have a problem. They're searching for a wider range of topics relating to their general need or the problem they're wanting to solve. A good clue as to the stage of the buyer is the keywords or content they're responding to. Clients with intent to learn will search for generic terms, and very rarely will their search be related to any specific product. Therefore, their intention to hear about products and solutions is very low. Instead, they're more interested in finding out about their problem, its causes, and the extent of it. Your task then is not to sell them, but to help them understand and present yourself as someone who might have the knowledge they need. When creating content for this group, consider inviting them into a conversation that's focused on gaining more knowledge on the subjects with like ebooks, white papers, videos that are going to help them understand their problem. Remember, these people are the most willing to sign up for your mailing list in exchange for information they seek, if you can show them that you can help them. As people become more addicted to their phones, more people are turning to mobile devices to research their purchases. 66% of smartphone users turn to their smartphones to learn more about something they saw in a TV commercial, while 82% of the surveyed buyers say they use their phones to research purchases. When determining how to reach these buyers, keep in mind that 8 out of 10 who watched a YouTube video related to a purchase they were planning to make said they watched it at the beginning of the shopping process, and 69% bought some other brand instead of the one they originally were interested in, based on getting that relevant information. So this is really good news for people wanting to have new clients that don't have a big existing client base, because these statistics show that the opportunities to attract buyers is wide open as long as you're providing relevant information in the early stages of the buyer's interest. When someone's exploring or researching but not yet in the purchase mode, they say they want useful information and maybe even inspirational information, not the hard sell. So create your conversation in this stage with the intention of helping them understand their problem, not selling them your service. Then you'll be in a position to be their guide as they travel down the purchase path and progress into the next stage of intent. Stage 2, intent to compare. The second stage relates to the next stage of the purchase path, the product evaluation. Clients in this intent know the full extent of their problem and are focusing on figuring out the solution. They slowly enter a buying mood, but they're very cautious, comparing the alternatives available to them. Your biggest challenge when creating content for this group is to highlight the benefits of your product without being too salesy or high pressure. You're communicating with people who seek solutions, but are also very wary about who they're going to buy from. According to a Google survey, 65% of smartphone users agree that when conducting a search on their smartphones, they look for the most relevant information regardless of the company providing the information. So the best way to communicate with this group is through videos or emails that present your service in action, with client success stories, presentations, demos, anything else that presents it in a favorable light. Over the last 2 years, watch time on YouTube has increased 10 times for Shop With Me videos and 12 times for Does It Work videos. So if you're a practitioner and you do a video on Does Your Modality Work, that's a very powerful video. Searches with intent to compare will search specific products or solutions and often use words like compare, benefits, best, reviews, and etc. in their search query. As you develop content that shows them how your service solves their problem, you will develop trust and authority without being too salesy, and can position your solution to be the logical conclusion for their purchase. So stage 3, intent to buy. Having evaluated all the alternatives, a client finally intends to buy a service. Clients with this intent ignore most content and perceive it as a roadblock to complete the sale. So that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any on their path. Websites, Facebook, or landing pages should help them gain the ownership of a product with clear calls to action, while any other content, unless it aids in the purchasing process, should be moved out of the way. Someone that's ready to make a purchase may need help deciding on which option is best or how to become your client. Your content must be mobile friendly, as 82% of smartphone users consult their phone while in their store and doing the shopping. So at this stage, they're determined to buy a solution, and you need to help them decide on which is the best choice. Nothing's more frustrating and loses sales quicker than buying processes that are slow to load or hard to find. Personalizing your client's conversation based on their intent will help you build trust and keep the conversation engaging without being high pressure or salesy. Keeping the client first and delivering relevant content that the client looks forward to receiving instead of avoiding is what marketing is supposed to be like. It's all about giving the client what they want, when they want it, and guiding them down the purchase path. Creating a client conversation that's more like a comfortable talk with a trusted and knowledgeable friend is a winning strategy for you and your clients. Delivering the right content with the right intention at the right time will provide a steady flow of happy clients and the business you've imagined. So this wraps up our training on the 3 stages of buyer intentions. The action step for this week is to take all your specific ways that you solve your client's pain, issues, challenges, or worries that you collected last week and group them into the 3 stages of buyer's intentions. So go down your list and put a 1, 2, or a 3 in front of each benefit statement if they speak to a specific stage. Then sort them into those groups. And when they're in the groups, I want you to rank each one based on their effectiveness. Put the best ones at the top and then descending to the least effective. So don't be concerned if some benefit statements overlap or in more than one stage. That's totally normal. The important thing is to identify which statements are working and which ones are not, and which stage they are in. Then I want you to look very objectively from your client's perspective and edit them. Make sure they flow like you're speaking them so that they reflect your best wording for each benefit angle. Read them out loud several times. And if you find you naturally change words in your speech, change the words on the paper so it flows like a conversation. You'll also want to make sure you're including overcoming common objections that you usually talk about during the sales cycle. Spend some time with this, as these statements will be the backbone of your marketing, and you're going to want them to be as authentic and effective as you can make them. And then next, I want you to identify which ones appeal to the client's logical or emotional decision-making self. It would be ideal to have an equal number of both logical and emotional benefits. So beware of how you appeal to your clients, because that tends to skew the numbers. And lastly, I want you to identify which benefits you uniquely solve and have a competitive advantage. So this is very important. These are the benefit angles that you do better than anyone. Also note which benefits everyone does, and you have no clear advantage. This step you need to be very honest about. You also want to identify an area that you may not be the best at right now, but you could be the best if you did this or that. These are the areas that you really want to pay attention to, as they can be the biggest pot of gold and a real game changer. So I want you to put a plus by the ones you do better than your competition, and a minus by the ones everyone does or that you don't do better than your competition. And then a star, a big star, by the ones that you could be or you are the best at. So in today's online world, if you can do one thing better than anyone in your market, you can really have a significant business, and it's worth the effort to cultivate and develop that one thing. So I want you to total up your list and look at how many benefit statements you have in each stage. How many are logical versus emotional? And how many are pluses and minuses? And do you have any stars? So I hope this has been as much fun for you as it's been for me. I really look forward to hearing what you come up with and any revelations you get from this exercise. This exercise can be really a lot of fun and a real eye-opener. So that's all for this step 6. The next step's putting it all together in the welcome email series. So thanks a lot, and good luck with this.